I met up with Elsinore from Splash of Charm, one of my favorite painters to work with, who specializes in cabinet refinishing. Did another project that I thought was awesome to get some details on because of the color that was used. Love it. And the stories behind the project with the owner, Humera, who has her own social media following, and she was able to ask them for color advice for her own kitchen. Really, really cool stuff. So let's go meet them, talk to them, and hear about the whole process.
Hi, my name is Hamera. I am a influencer slash blogger at HumJK on Instagram, and I'm also a digital marketer, and this is my home.
Hi, my name is Elsinore Blass, and I run Splash of Charm. We paint kitchen cabinets, and we work with you every step of the way from beginning to end. Hi, James.
All right, so let's talk about this kitchen. I'm sure it didn't always look like this. So
No.
what was the process like?
Process was like coming in here. The before was very brown, and we had a blank slate with what to do, but thankfully my clients were pretty on the ball with what they wanted. Coming in, it was trying to break everything down into chunks and pieces so that we can figure out how we could put this project together.
And I can already see there's like, quite a few elements, right? There's the wood floors, there's the beautiful furniture, and I'm assuming that the cabinets weren't the same wood as the floor. Maybe there was like a difference in tone and shade. And
For sure. It was an orangey brown.
the colors that I guess we ended up with, what's the off-white on the main cabinets?
The off-white is White Dove, Benjamin Moore, obviously.
Good choice.
And I'm not going to take the credit for choosing. I just helped in the process. So she narrowed down the color selection to, I think, maybe 2 or 3 colors. And we came back with some painting boards, just so that she's not looking at a little swatch this big.
This blue, what a good choice. So normally we see a lot of navy blues with cabinets, especially on the islands. But this one is a bit of a muted frosty periwinkle.
Periwinkle, yes.
That's the one.
So as we came inside, James says, "What is that? Is that like periwinkle blue?" And I was like, what is periwinkle even? So when I Googled it, it said a muted periwinkle.
I know my stuff. I got lucky.
No, the color guy.
It's cool. We have all these beautiful handles. And then on the lone glass cabinet, we have some accent handles, which are really nice. What a nice little touch.
What I learned here was that they wanted to mix and match knobs and handles, but they wanted some sort of consistency or some discipline in how they did it. So if it was waist below, it had to be something, or if it was doors only, it had to be something. And so just looking at how it was all put together, we've got handles on the bottom, but they decided to have 2 knobs here.
And there's obviously a consistency in the material, right? It's that gold coloration that they've opted for, which is really, really nice.
So these 4 cabinets had window panes, clear glass, just like this one over here.
Okay.
I remember having the conversation. She said she wanted to hide stuff behind, things that we all have, plastic tumblers, she's a mom. And
They're not necessarily showpieces.
they're not showpieces, and you don't want to have them kind of ruin the look. So we took these doors down and we removed the glass and put wood behind there, and I painted it.
Cool.
So that just kind of closed it off, and it looks great.
And I think it's one of the important things that this project really exemplifies is we're all designers, right? We all have our own perspectives. We all have our own methods. And I think when you really embrace that, some beautiful things can happen. I think this way everything came together is just awesome. Love the periwinkle.
So here we have the bar area, and this used to have glass as well. And in here there was a wine rack. They said, we don't drink wine, and we will have some juice in there. They asked us to remove the entire, the wine rack look, and we just kind of like had some boards put in here, painted that for a fresher look. We painted the backsplash white. It was a brown beige. They didn't know what they wanted to do, and so it was supposed to be very temporary. One thing they did know was they wanted it to be a different sheen level than the cabinets. They wanted a matte. And they didn't want it spray painted solid. They still wanted to have a little bit of texture. So we hand painted this so that you can see the brush strokes and you can still see the texture. And I mean, years later, it's not even on the radar to replace it, where it was a temporary measure. Now it's like, that's what it is. It's going to stay. Now, I will say here, it started to come off. Here, I think, you know, with the oven and the stove, like the heat and all of that, it wasn't like a tested thing. So this was our test. Now that we see that this is where it's worn, what a great way to like just work with what you have, with being able to just touch that part up. Like, because it was just I just took a brush and I basically just, you know, hand painted things. I can very easily show them how to touch it up and it would look perfect. No grout, having to worry about any grout. It's all just one color. How did we meet?
Yeah, I don't know. My husband found you. I think my husband found you on Instagram, and then he contacted you, and then we had a consultation, which was amazing.
Thank you.
And then shortly after, we're like, she's the one. Let's do this.
It's just a fit.
Yeah.
When you find people, actually, I was so excited when I found out, well, Danish, your husband, he gave me your Instagram page, and I was so excited to meet you.
So the island is actually my favorite part of this entire makeover in the kitchen. And I remember when we were looking at the colors, we were going through like a poll with my followers on Instagram saying which one's better, Cascade or Summer Mist in Benjamin Moore. And 83% were like was it Summer Mist?
Summer Mist.
Yeah. And we were sold. We were like, yes, let's do it. And that's my favorite part.
I love it. I love it. I love it. But this is again where I have grown out of like what I knew.
Yeah.
Because I am not that adventurous to have chosen like this beautiful blue. I kind of tend toward neutrals.
Yeah.
And so when you chose this, I was so excited.
Something different.
Something different. I wouldn't have been able to recommend this color.
Yeah.
It's
But now you can.
And now I can.
Yeah. The hardware was also, you helped so much with that as well. And we had picked like a more luxury brand, but we were like concerned about going over our budget. And then Danish had done some research and actually found the manufacturer for something similar. And it came right within our budget. So that was awesome. And you actually pushed us to like, okay, if it's out of your budget, start looking around. And that was the trigger that we needed to be like, okay, let's see if we can find something similar.
All you need to do is take a picture of whatever it is you're trying to copy. And in Google Photos, there's a little button that says lens. And you just press that button and it'll show you whatever it is you're taking a picture of. Hundreds of things that you can find. I do recommend for different people where I kind of find where you can kind of tell if they're a little bit more adventurous. And I'll make the recommendation, well, you know, on top of the fridge or, you know, on top of the stove, there's like 2 cabinets.
Yeah.
You can put like 2 different accented knobs that speaks to whatever you think.
So those accent handles, quite a challenge because my husband wanted to continue with the same gold handles, but I really talked him into it. And it actually tied in really well with the island, which is my favorite part. So had to do some homage like that. He was like, it's a little different, a little girly, you know. He's like, it's not really my thing. And my sisters actually called it very grandma-ish. And they're like, how
Really?
typical of you to pick such a grandma-ish knob. I'm like, no, you know what? It's grandma chic, exactly. And, you know, now everyone sees it and they actually like it. They're like, it's that one different item that's, you know, not as consistent, but it pops.